Totally fine.
All right. So here we have vote yes CFS and reduce tuition fees, the Canadian Federation of Student buttons that you're handing out today. And we have with us today
Amanda Aziz. I'm the National Chairperson of the Canadian Federation of Students.
All right, and can you tell us a bit today about what you're doing at SFU?
For sure, yeah. We're just trying to spread the word to students about what it means to be a member of the Canadian Federation of Students and how important it is to stay working with over 500,000 students across the country. We've also been doing some petitioning on our We Ride Transit campaign to put pressure on the provincial government to increase funding. So, talking to lots of people, trying to get the good word out there.
All right, and what kind of things are you giving to people? You have pins and pamphlets, and what's the messages that you have?
Well, the message totally depends on the student, but the main message is just that it's really important that students remain united with the over 500,000 students across the country that are members of the CFS, that obviously we're more effective if we're working together, and that, as students we have a lot of important work to do, including working on things from reducing tuition fees, reducing student debt, but also in providing services to our members that save money. So there's a lot of important things that we need to do, and the last thing that needs to happen in this province is for students to divide amongst themselves and not work together. So we're here encouraging people to stay united, vote yes in the referendum, and that's the main message.
All right, and where are you from exactly?
Well, I'm the national chairperson of the CFS, so I went to school at the University of Manitoba, and I now work in our Ottawa office and serve on the national executive. And part of my role, actually most of my role, is doing government relations and campaigns work, but also some of it is membership awareness, obviously, and helping to talk to members about what the organization is and what we do, and really engage people in the campaigns work of the organization.
All right, and what can you tell us about the other CFSers who are out here handing out pamphlets? What are their backgrounds? Some of them maybe aren't SFU students?
Yeah, some of them aren't. So there's definitely some SFU students on the ground helping. There are some just concerned members from around BC, actually. A lot of the people that were really expressed a lot of interest in wanting to come out and help are other executive members from British Columbia. Frankly, they have a lot, the most at stake in terms of, working together in a cohesive student movement in BC. Of course, students across the country are concerned with, making sure that our organization and that the organization stays united and that students are working together. But so there's students from across BC, from the island, who are here talking about the good work of the organization provincially and the need to continue to campaign together.
Okay, and what do you think personally about the attempt of the Simon Fraser Student Society to opt out of the Canadian Federation of Students?
I don't think it's a wise choice. I think that a lot of what is being spread around is either illogical or false. I think it's certainly within the rights of all students to have an opportunity to vote, to evaluate their membership. But I think, me personally, concerned about some of the misinformation being spread. We're here trying to clarify a lot of it, and I guess just encourage students to keep committed. I mean, as a student body, we're very diverse. We often have disagreements, and in my opinion, when you find that you're having a difference of an opinion with the over 80 or 85 student unions that are members of the Federation, what's most effective is to keep working, understand that it's a democratic organization, so the majority rules, and not to come back home and get upset and try and leave. So we're hopeful that students will see the strength in continuing to work together. I feel like I've said the words "work together" like 15 times.
Yeah, probably. And do you have any examples of maybe some of the misleadings people might get from the Simon Fraser Student Society about the Canadian Federation of Students?
There's a couple. I guess some of the posters that are up talking about our financial accountability and the fact that we don't have just making implications about audits and budgets. And so we're here trying to clarify that, obviously talking about how we've had unqualified audits for our entire existence as an organization, and that in fact the Simon Fraser Student Society is the main conduit to students on the ground. I think part of the problem that's expressed to me from students is I keep hearing this, well, where has this grants campaign been? Where has this campaign's been? Or you know, asking what's going on with the Federation on campus. And part of, I think, the deliberate attempt to mislead students is this message from the Simon Fraser Student Society that the CFS hasn't been on campus. But the structure of the organization is such that the Student Society, in fact, is the conduit between, you know, the national executive, the provincial executive, and students on the ground. So if the Simon Fraser Student Society executive doesn't want to implement a campaign, for example, our grants campaign this year, which was really, really exciting at most schools across the country, where students collected tens of thousands of signatures in support of this new grants program, wasn't very effective here. And I mean, part of that is because if the society doesn't want to implement it, it doesn't have to. That's not to say there wasn't other students on the ground that were working on these issues. So I think there is some misleading information about the structure of the organization, and I'm hopeful that we can clarify that. But yeah, and we've developed a bit of a myth-fact sheet where we're the kind of people that like to, you know, take these issues head on, because certainly there is a lot of misinformation being spread, and I understand from students, talking to students of this campaign, the We Want Out campaign has been happening for several months, so we've got a bit of catch up in terms of trying to get the truth out there about what's happening with the organization.
All right, and how do you feel about the We Want Out campaign coinciding with the Simon Fraser Student Society elections? Do you think that there are some candidates who might side with staying with the CFS, and how that might affect them?
Well, I mean, there certainly has been a lot of candidates campaigning on both sides of the issue. I mean, I don't have an opinion in terms of like what's happening with the elections, but it does seem like a pretty divisive issue on campus, and it's unfortunate. I think that, you know, it's really been trumped up to be a divisive issue when students don't actually really understand, you know, what the CFS is. They hear CFS and they think of the Simon Fraser Student Society posters. So yeah, I mean, I think the timing is interesting, and I guess we'll see what happens. And I think my worry is that students are kind of bombarded with so much information that they're like, candidates and referenda, and apparently there's 5 different or 4 different other referenda that the Student Society is trying to run. So
yeah. And do you have any final piece of advice for students who are going to be voting and still don't really know where they stand? Yeah,
I would suggest talking to coming to talk to us at the table. We have a table set up in a queue. You can check out our website, and there's people around campus trying to give out leaflets. My apologies for if you've been bombarded a little bit. I know it's been happening across campus. But yeah, to really understand the issues, I guess it's just really important as a membership-based organization, both the Simon Fraser Student Society and the Canadian Federation of Students, that students are very informed and engaged in the process. I've heard that voter turnout has been pretty low on this campus, and that is a concern given that every student here pays a membership fee to the Simon Fraser Student Society and a membership fee to the Canadian Federation of Students. So, I mean, it is, you know, students' collective money. Both the Simon Fraser Student Society executive and the Canadian Federation of Students executive need to be held accountable for those membership fees. And so I do encourage students to really get out, talk to people, make sure that you're very informed on the issue, and ultimately get out and vote.
And do you know anything about the Ravi Patel fee situation?
No, just that people keep coming and talking to me about it, but I don't actually.
Oh, okay, so you don't have anything to say about that?
No.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming out.
Great, and, thanks for coming here.
Yeah, good luck tabling.
Great, thanks a lot.
All right.